So there's two types of attacks and two types of dodges. Um, and you to use, whichever one you use is depending on what it says on your card. So on a six-sided die, you have a blank, a crit, a single support, a double support, the first attack type, and the second attack type. So there's no statistical difference between the first attack type and the second attack type.
Mm-hmm.
And then that also means that there's only two dice, or there's only two sides on a six-sided dice that you're going to actually be able to produce a hit without being supported.
You're done with Underworld, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the game models, sure, yeah.
If there's it kind of annoys me. Like I wouldn't mind picking up the pack that for the Stormcast they just came out with, but it's probably gonna be like 2 years before they decide to release them solo.
Well, it might be 3 with current state of the world and shipping.
Yeah.
But that's fair. I mean, as I said, I was kind of, as soon as I saw the new Underworld set changed card backs, I realized that this game is not being supported right, and I was like, okay, Plus, I was already kind of out because I bought the Daughters of Cain, painted it up, put the deck that they said was good forever together in a little case, and I just kind of stopped. I was like, okay, I've completed Underworld, so I am done. I have Daughters of Cain.
I do have to say one thing that I really give them credit for was this was probably one of their best balanced games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was fun to pick up and go. I don't think anyone's decrying that. I think it's just not being supported.
Well, exactly, and it's also it's the only one that was designed from the ground up to be competitive.
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, so technically they were saying that about Warcry.
I think they said that in an article once, and they're just like, wait, don't say that again. That's not what this is about. This is about
story.
Yeah,
it's about story.
It's like when they came out with like the Lumineth list, like top meta list written by Chuck Moore for Lumineth. I was like, that's not what my assignment was.
That's not a realistic expectation at all.
The editors got that one wrong, but regardless of that, I want to welcome you guys to the Christmas episode of Strength Hammer.
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells, yep. I hope everyone enjoyed that little Underworld's intro here. I know what you're all thinking. You're like, man, this new format that they did a month and a half ago, whenever we recorded last, was amazing. Matt's the host, but hold on, we're going to put that on hold till next time. We want to do a special little mini-sode that we'll see how long it goes.
Today's topic is about, you guys have to tell me about the Warhammer Opens.
Oh, perfect. Never mind. Show format is on. Yes. Yes, I wanted to talk about the Austin, Texas U.S. Open and the U.S. Open finale. And then, because I don't make everybody record enough, I'm not like Big M's Power Hour or any other professional podcast. We also have the FAQ to talk about a little bit here. Now, lots of great people have done great commentary on FAQ, and we'll get to that. But before we do, Dave, you've been quiet because I think you realize now that I just start pressing record when I get quiet. So that's why you've been quiet for a while. So now, tell us how you've been.
That means that I've been pressing record because I was quiet. I don't know, I've been all right. It's been stressful here for the holidays, but things are finally settling in. The semester's over, so that's great.
Nice.
And I've been getting a lot of hobby in lately.
Yeah, you've been knocking out the Ideneth, the Matt's Future Army.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Maybe we have to get them 2 different armies of it.
Ooh, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe whenever they have like swarms of krill, then I'll consider it.
Technically, a lot of the big, like the Eidolons have swarms of schools of fish.
No, I'm talking about as individual units.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe one day.
Individual units of krill. Mm-hmm. Minimum unit size 4,000. And they cost you 12 points.
Yes.
So what? So speaking of the IDK, what is their Aether? Is there like
Aether C?
Aether C. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right after Aether B, right before Aether D. Slanesh has the Aether D.
Yep. You could go Aether Orb.
Get him off
I'm
this
proud of that
podcast.
Oh,
But for our Path to Glory that we're working on, I now have one start collecting kit fully painted, which is
does that get you to 750-ish points that we're at?
no, that gets me way short. I need 3 other models to take me to 750. So I will eventually have this Archaeon King, who is
Nice.
now based, huzzah, and this shark.
Nice. Love the shark.
And of course,
The best,
Lotan.
the best hero, the
Lowest
only
of
hero.
tans.
So with the start collecting and those 3, I'm going to be at 795, but Lotan only counts for half.
That's fair. I think we did rule that. How about yourself, Matt? Now we're not going to talk about the invitational event. We're going to save that probably for the next, or maybe even on the Big M's Power Hour. However you want to do it. But
well, yeah, I mean, Cole and I are definitely going to be talking about it. That's...
Yeah, I hope you invite us onto your show so we can all talk about it.
No, get out of here.
Dang it. Son of a bitch. Okay, well, I know you you were inspired by the event to paint up a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, I had Teyrath the Invitational, and then I also have LVO, and so I was like,
also LVO. LVO's the afterthought. Let's be real.
LVO's the afterthought, definitely. I mean, that's all the way on the other side of the country, so it's all meh. But no, so I think it was probably about 6 weeks of literally just get done with work, eat, paint, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I know the weekend before, I took a half day off on Friday, and I ended up painting 40 hours from afternoon Friday to Sunday night. And honestly, if I didn't push that last bit, I would not have gotten done, because I ended up finishing everything Thursday night and then magnetizing Friday morning.
Oh wow.
The army turned out great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful army. It's
I'm
sure you're happy to have that 2,000 point army just done and just sitting there.
Yes.
More
well,
or
that's
less,
why this is now like my second 2,000 point Stormcast army. Because I still have the Sacrosanct. I think their points went up a little bit, so I think I have full 2,000 of them.
That's true. And this new one though, it's that nice healthy mix that the book kind of pushes, so you have a little bit of everything. So I think this is like the true army for you.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's I do have some of the filthy units people talk about. Because I have one unit reinforced of long strikes, which honestly I don't know how the army works without them. They're so crucial.
I don't know. I did well against you without them.
Yeah.
I just had Judicators. I took more of a Warrior Brotherhood list, but
yeah.
I mean, that went to turn 5, so that could have gone either way with a few rules here and there changes. Yeah.
Well, so Dracothian Guard were completely out everywhere. So I had an old set of concussors that I painted up. I have to say I was not impressed with concussors in any way, shape, or form.
I have 2 concussors too, and it's just like, man, I wish I had just a unit of retributors, so I had more of these hammers going around.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know. It seems like they don't have enough attacks. Like maybe if they had 4 piece, it might be worth the 240. I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, where it's at right now, I'd rather just lightning strike in some paladins and do it that way.
Well, like I said, so I did finally get a new box, so I am going to try 1 box of Fulminators. We've proxied them in our game here, and
there's a good dad moment. Sorry, I just saw the joyful hug. If you're watching on YouTube, like you just saw some good dad moments.
I definitely think the Fulminators are good. I don't think they're as big of a deal as everyone says they are. Honestly, listen, if you're going to face me in LVO, just turn away now, but just charge the damn things. Like it's you charge them, but they can't do anything. Like that's all. You clip their wings. But honestly, up until LVO, like I'm going to get a lot of practice games in, and I don't think I'm going to try to get anything else other than the Fulminators done. But if I don't like the Fulminators up until LVO, I might switch it out for another Chariot, see if I can get another hero in.
For some reason, that the chariot and you, like, I look at the chariot, I'm like, that's neat. But for you, the chariot is the biggest champ I've ever seen. It is the Chad of your army. You put that chariot out there, and if it's against me, it never dies. I've never really killed the chariot, but if you play anybody else, for some reason they see you push it forward, and they're like, that's a key piece. He has a plan for this, and they just unload and kill it, and you're like, okay, I lost the chariot. Here's everything else in my army that's actually going to kill you appears.
Well, so light spoilers. John thought that and so he throws Scarbrand at him after I've
Scarbrand had chariot, everybody.
And so then, whenever I got to do my 12 explodey rolls, I ended up getting I think I pulled out 5 mortal wounds out of the thing.
Dang.
And he's like, "Well, that's that model."
Oh man, that's crazy.
Tell you, man. Yeah. So I said, fulminators don't pull their weight. Second chariot, man.
Whose dice were you rolling then, Matt?
I was rolling AOS coach's dice.
I was going to say, they're definitely not your dice.
It's upside down dice.
Well, they didn't. They kind of, I don't know. So Neil and I played. I'm pretty sure the night before, whenever Neil and I got a Path to Glory game in, I feel like whenever I went to the bathroom or something, Neil was all touching them and stuff because they weren't rolling for.
Ooh.
They weren't rolling very well. And then that was the one good roll I got off in that game against John. The rest was John got to the point where he's like, "Have you rolled a 4 yet?" I was like,
now,
I don't think so.
I think, Matt, the lesson here is, and we should share this with all the gamers that are listening, take your dice with you to the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the real lesson.
Yeah, put them in your pocket.
Especially, yep.
Take them with you.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the key takeaway.
That's good. And the Stormcast is your Path to Glory army too, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Very nice. I guess for me,
until he starts his Ideneth.
Right, that's true. Very true. Good call, Dave. Good call.
I just I don't know. I was saying well, I feel bad that everyone else is doing a their main army. I don't know what else I would do. I could. I'm not doing Ideneth. I have no interest in Ideneth.
Chuck, he's taking the path to glory now, and when he reaches glory, that's when he's buying his Ideneth.
Right. Well,
because that's the glorious.
Let's look at it this way, Matt. I mean, I'm also doing Path to Glory with you guys. I was originally going to do Cities of Sigmar based upon my soulbound character Lanissa. That turned into a 2,000 point army. Then I was, well, actually no, sorry. First I was going to do Carriage on Overlords. That turned into a 2,000 point army. And sorry, I just heard myself come back. Back in my own ears. That was weird. And yeah, then I did the cities, and that turned to 2,000 point army. And then I've randomly stumbled into, and it's part of the open story, doing some orc Ironjaws. And I was just a unit of brutes away from making it 750, so a good friend, our dirty Russian friend, Alex, whatever you want to call him, Fithammer, convinced me to do the orcs. And I was like, that's a good point, because I don't really have any attachment to the army. So it can be I'm even willing to roll randomly for the units I get. I it's just for fun. And hold on. So guys, remember, we're recording on the 23rd of December. But do you guys remember yesterday when I posted pictures of the models, the brutes I went out and bought that day, and then I had them primed and built? Well, now it's hard to tell because I'm on the little camera because I can't get my big camera working. They just need a quick wash and a basing, so they're probably gonna be done either tonight or tomorrow.
Wow.
I mean, they're not bright enough, but other than that, looking good.
Well, that's because my camera setup not good either, but I don't care.
Yeah, Chuck's not very bright either.
As far as I'm concerned, if you can't flag down traffic with your orcs, they're not painted the right color.
That's true. Yours are the Neon Nova orange. Mine are just basic red, but we'll get into it. But yeah, let's see. Just for fun, I guess my hobby, I have a half-painted Cities of Sigmar army that'll be fully built and assembled post-Christmas when I get a few Christmas gifts. I have a fully built and primed and base-coated silver Caradron army A 750 point Path to Glory Ironjawz army. I have a 2200 point Drukhari army still in boxes. That one doesn't bother me because it's in boxes. And another potential army, which I won't talk about because it's a surprise if it ends up being mine. We will wait and see. But yeah, I went from having 0 backlog to 4.5 armies.
So, Chuck, are you afraid to tell the audience about the squats that GW is going to be releasing next month?
Quiet. You'll get me fired from my part-time position.
It's the new AOS squats. They're in like these little flying ships, and it's very weird.
Yeah. But they're not carriage on. It's anyway. So
version 3.1 is Age of Squats.
Age of Squat more. Squat more. Age of Squat more. Wait, hold on. We're gonna turn this into something. Hashtag Age of Squat more. Yes. All right. Catalog that. I'm gonna make you guys work out soon. And it's not just you guys. Everybody listening and everybody not listening. You're all gonna work out, get fit, stay hydrated.
If you're not listening, you owe us 100 squats.
Now, if I just move my camera up and down, does it look like I'm squatting?
No, because I actually that's pretty good. That's not that bad actually. That was pretty.
Whew, I'm exhausted after that.
Matt staying hydrated. All right, cool. But yeah, I guess the other thing to state too. I've never been good at consistency on these podcasts and wanting to record them. But other part of it is because I just switched jobs, which has been fun. I now work remotely from home, so maybe going into the next year we can start recording a little more regularly and get something down. I mean, I would like that. It's just I need someone to hold me accountable, especially for this. Like I can paint models and lift all day, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy podcasting with you guys, but I hate the scheduling aspect. I hate having to pester you guys and be like, "Hey, you guys want to record?" Because I got something I want to talk about. So, but maybe if we try, hey, on the first and second Sunday of every first and third Sunday of every month we record, or something like that. You know what I mean? Where it just becomes what we do. And if you can't make it, you can't make it. But just do it regardless. Even if it's just me sitting here going, talking to myself. At least get a podcast out, even if it's a crappy podcast. Maybe that's what it takes.
Listen, I refuse to allow you to have more episodes without me than me without you on this channel. So it ain't gonna happen.
See, now that but you know that, Matt, when you put a challenge down to me, you get me going. So that might make more podcast episodes.
It's not gonna happen.
Ready for Strength Hammer Daily coming to you December 24th, 2021.
I told you need to get into the YouTube Shorts thing.
Nah, I could barely do Instagram right. But anyway, it's also, like I said, it's Christmas season, so everyone out there, Merry Christmas. We'll probably won't record before New Year, so Happy New Year to you as well, or Happy Holidays. Actually, today's Festivus, first day of Festivus, so Merry Festivus to everybody.
The airing of grievances.
I mean, we could do that. We could all do that. That's fine. I don't think anyone wants to listen to that. But
I just spent 12 hours on the road today, so I think I know where all my grievances are directed.
Every turn signal that never existed.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
and when cruise control isn't used either.
Well, if you can't be consistent
Passing
with the
and
gas
repassing the same people is really annoying.
Oh well, I'm not a cruise control person, but I have I have the capability to maintain a steady speed with my foot for hours upon end. But you know who doesn't?
I knew Chuck had a superpower.
You know who doesn't have that power? I went to him with Adepticon once. That's Brush for Hire. He's an inconsistent speed driver if I've ever seen one. Love you, Sean. Love you to death. But boy, I've watched him go from 60 to 20 7 times in 10 minutes. And it was on the interstate. I'm like, you need to stop talking and focus.
Yeah. Where was it? I was in the car with him. Can't remember. I guess it was DeNova, and it was an interesting trip. It was definitely gas to the floor until we were about 20 over, and then foot completely off the gas until we were about 10 under, and just rinse and repeat for 4 hours. And that was
yeah. It was a little bit more. I mean, our drive to Nova is a little bit more hilly and mountainous. The drive to Adepticon from here is pretty flat because we go through Ohio and Indiana. So like it was real apparent there. Anyway, enough banter. I think we've entertained everybody for 19 minutes and 58 seconds according to this OBS clock. And if you're still with us, congratulations. There's no show. We tricked everybody. Now
if you're still with us, congratulations. You are the mother of one of the people on the screen.
Now enjoy 2 hours of silence. So it looks like we had a long podcast.
We may say something in the next 2 hours that's incredibly relevant. Don't go anywhere.
It's going to be high suspense.
Maybe I'll give up some secrets. So, yeah, the main topic of today, we'll be talking about the U.S. Open final two events, because we did one right after New Orleans, or NOLA, whatever you want to call it. Me and Matt talked about Orlando and New Orleans. I talked about it. He asked me questions. Nolans. But we had Austin and the finale in the Warhammer Citadel in Dallas. And to be honest, this is a spoiler, Austin was one of the best events I've ever been a part of, either in running or playing at that level. Taking away the small, more intimate settings aside for like, you know, the club stuff, like the Terathi Invitational, that sort of stuff, but like a big GT level event, this is, and I'm biased, but yeah, it was the best one.
How many people were in the finals?
The finals? Do you want to skip ahead to the finals, or do you want to talk about Austin first, since that's the order of operations?
I was just wondering. We brought it up.
So there was two grand winners from each, for a best overall and a best general from each event. So from Orlando, New Orleans, and Austin. And then we also chose a wild card for each. So 8 players for 40K, 8 players for Sigmar.
Okay.
So, and then 2 separate brackets plus a little exhibition thing. So we'll get into the Dallas finals after Austin. But one thing with Austin real quick, that is a fun city. I never thought my achievement would ever pop that said shut down a bar in Texas. But I managed to hit that achievement twice. And actually, it was oddly enough, it wasn't even about like, it wasn't drinking nonstop. It was just talking with people and hanging out, and all of a sudden the lights came on and it's like, last call, and we're like, what? Oh, it's 2 a.m. Okay, I guess we should go to sleep now. But so the Austin event, there was myself, the new addition to the team, which was John Barrymore from New Orleans, who was the local help in New Orleans, if you listen to that episode.
Nice.
He was fully same level as me, part-time on call for AOS Rules Judge. And then we also brought on James O'Brien. If you're on the East Coast, actually if you're anywhere in the U.S., you should probably know who James O'Brien is, top-level competitor. He will be the TO for Nova GT next year. But top-level player, top-level guy. And he did a great job. Actually, the whole team, just talk about, and we not to count him out, there's a local help we had, Jeff, down there in Austin, and he's one of the what club was he? There were so many clubs. There was the Sons of Slambo, there was Harambe's Heroes, Dallas Defenders. They said the Dallas scene is so well organized. It's the best organized scene I have ever seen. They have their own masters, they have their own like competition ranking systems to get into those masters. They actually used the Austin as one of their main tournaments for placings to get into the masters and see, which club was having dominance. So I mean, bravo to Dallas. Bravo to Texas. Bravo to Texas. They were just fantastically organized.
I want to point out, I never thought, having grown up an hour west of Philly, I never thought I'd hear someone from Pennsylvania say "Bravo to Dallas."
Well,
so
yeah, well,
wow.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys aren't really doing much, but neither are the Steelers.
Well, yeah, their football team isn't very good anymore. Our football team isn't very good anymore. Who man?
And
can't we all just get along?
Can't we all just hate Cincinnati?
Team, so.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, Texas, Austin. So we had James O'Brien join the team fully, along with John and myself, which was fantastic. Between the three of us, and you guys have seen this from you running your own events or helping me run an event. In your case, Matt, the best thing you can do is fill each other's gaps and weaknesses. Where John is an amazing people person. He can make the most tense table turn into a laughing best friends type situation. And James can take the most hard, nose fast, confusing rules situation and figure it out like drop of a hat. That's their skill set, and I'm like kind of in the middle between them two. So like between the three of us, we just realized we cover each other so well that the event just ran super smooth. And that's going to be the team going forward into the next year's U.S. Opens. Obviously, the team will grow as we grow events. I don't think we're going to increase the size of Age of Sigmar just yet because we didn't sell everyone out. Austin was definitely the biggest event. We were well over 100 players for both days. But that actually is probably be a good thing because we can tighten up a lot of stuff since we have a fully set team now for the U.S. Open events with Age of Sigmar. But yeah, Austin, 5 games. We actually got some stream time for Age of Sigmar at this event due to some quick thinking from Paul Murphy and Nick Nanavati, the stream team and 40K commentators. They were able to get a small little handheld camera around to see some tables and some quick action, and also bring on a few of us to discuss what's going on, what we saw on the top tables. So, big shout out to them to find us some time to put on there because people want to see the AOS stuff. Obviously, it's a little hard because there's no real strong commentators out there that have formed a team that was easy to pick up, but there's a few names we're throwing at Mike Brandt to look at for next year. So plan is to have Sigmar stream next year more regularly. So let's
I don't know what names they threw out there, but there was what was it? Vince did something for, I want to say it was like,
he did one in Australia, CanCon.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince was fantastic.
And like I learned so much from like that one game.
Oh yeah. Vince is because it's just like sports commentating. You need someone who can do like the play-by-play and someone that can do like the banter back and forth, the color commentary for whatever it's called. Which and Vince could actually, he could probably handle both on his own. Here's the downside: I don't know if Vince wants to deal with the official being
fly
employed
all around the world.
Well, be employed by Games Workshop, and you have NDAs and all that sort of. I think he doesn't want to have that tied down with the.
That's true.
With the way he's handling his content, and I fully respect that. That's probably fine. I sold out and became a shill, but my content doesn't matter. Vince's matters, so. But yeah, so 100 players for both days. Shut down a couple bars. I was real happy Daughters of Cain took best overall. Followed right by Iron Jaws for best general. Although I'm kind of sad I haven't seen a MetaWatch article yet for it. Obviously, it'll probably be combined with the finale, much like the 40K one was recently. But I was hoping that Daughters of Cain would win one of the awards because I desperately want to see that GW art style. I believe it's Sarah Kaiser that does it. I want to see the GW art style that has a witch elf with a cowboy hat and a big belt buckle on. Like, I want that so desperately in my life. I hope I get it.
Okay, you weird fetish.
Well, whatever. But truly, Austin was a great from the TO's perspective, having the fully formed team, having everything kind of just set and working, and then just was the perfect way to end on such a strong note for the big event. And I couldn't be more proud to have been a part of it. I can't wait for more of it for next year. See where it's going to go. And then there was the U.S. Open finale, where we invited the best overall and best general from each, as well as a wild card for each slot as well.
Real quick here, before you get into the finals here.
Sure.
So now that we have all three.
Three.
Four.
There's three. The finals are the fourth one, yeah.
Now we have all three of the Opens done. Did each I know whenever you did the first two, you were saying that each one felt very different.
Yes.
What was it? Florida felt a lot more relaxed.
Florida was very casual. People were just happy to be playing in a tournament setting. Like casual, relaxed, not like there were some tough opponents with tough lists, but no one was really there to push everyone's shit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even the competitive people brought fun lists. They just wanted to play and see what the whole thing was about, because that was also the first U.S. Open event.
Yeah. And then you said that Nolans was a bunch of drunk partiers who you had to struggle to keep their tops on.
That was in the 40K side, so not my issue.
That was when he tried to close down a bar in New Orleans.
Those damn Nurgle players.
Actually, almost. Actually, yeah, we did. Me and Salty John from the 40K side, that was fun. But New Orleans was very much there was the competitiveness. Sorry, jumped up high, because that's the event everyone would go to, because everyone wanted to visit New Orleans. Also, it was closer to Texas, and Texas has a very competitive scene. So, but we had Caleb, Walters, Bill Souza fly down. Obviously, Martin Orlando came down with his he pushed for and won best painted there. So it was a very high elite level for the top couple tables. There's also Anthony. His last name begins with T. I can't remember his last name, but another amazing player there too. Also, and
the Slaves of Darkness guy.
Yep. And Scooter, Caleb's brother, was there too, pushing his Iron Job piggies around. And he's also just always a good player. Like I said, it was just it was very it was more of an elite level. But even still, outside of a few mid tables who decided in New Orleans to take forever to finish their games, it was frustrating. I
wasn't there.
You weren't there, no.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's called the Big Easy, all right?
Yeah, a couple of people had it. There's one. They're playing me the table state. It's turn 2. It's been 3 hours. I'm like, okay, let's talk through it, because we want to reach a natural conclusion to the game. And I was already we'll talk through it, we'll figure it out. And one of the guys just looked at me, and I could see what his eyes were saying, and I openly said, I'm not going to tell you who won this game. We're going to talk through it. And he just went, oh. I'm like, okay, calm down. What spells are you getting? Let's roll priority. And then you go through it, and eventually they reach oh, okay, this is why you're doing it. I see it. But I just walk up to the table. I don't care if you're the last table. Neither one of you want a match. I'm not going to just be you won. I like the cut of your jib, kid. No, just play quicker.
So was Austin ramped up even harder with competitive?
Hold on. Before you stretch into Austin there, if I recall,
we're starting with Austin. We're not.
Said...
we just branched back into NOLA a little bit. Where are you going with this?
No. So I believe you had said that the painting standard in New Orleans was even higher than that of the one in Orlando as well.
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
so
that's all.
Yeah.
So
okay.
For Austin, did Austin feel like it had a unique vibe, or did it feel like it was just a continuation of the ramp up?
There was a lot more competitiveness spread out. Like I said, New Orleans had and like I said, there were some of the Texas boys too, and girls in New Orleans that were there competing at high level. But there was so much more high level competitiveness spread out in Austin that you couldn't go 5 tables without finding someone who had a chance to win the event.
Nice.
You had there's so many names. I mean, Roger was there. Noah was there. At least it was much more spread out, and people showed up to play. There was a lot of people there. A lot of the U.S. Open events, actually, all 3. A lot of people there. This was their first event, and some of them it was their first handful of games, which was kind of fun seeing people just take to that, opponents, and go okay, let's have a good time. Let me show you what an event's all about. If I had to give a feeling,
pushing their shit.
not surprisingly, not all of them. There's people that were kind of showing them the ropes of a game. Everyone came in. I want to say this was no one's very first games. It was sometimes their first within a 10. You know what I mean? It's they understood the rules in their army. But yeah, so even some people were just it's my first big tournament. Came away with a win in some of those matches. So
nice.
But the feeling of Austin was definitely much more of that of a Nova, Adepticon, GT. A true everyone's here to win, but everyone's here having a good time. There isn't really any major issues except for maybe near the last couple games. There's a couple times it gets a little tense. I honestly, from someone who's TO'd stuff, if people are having a tense time at the table, chances are they're just not communicating properly. And that's what that's what you just got to help them get with. Like help them start communicating with each other, because then they realize they're like, there's very few bad people in this hobby. Very few, and I've never really seen them at events, and they don't get, like, if they're that type of person, they probably quit after their first loss or whatever. But you get people talking and realizing each other's humans, and we're all pushing little toys around. People go, oh, okay, yeah, like let's finish out our game, let's have a good time. Just get them talking. It's a little TO tip for you there. But yeah, Austin was fantastic. Like I said, the best event I've ever been a part of at that level as a player or a TO. So I can't rate it highly enough. But like I said, I think it's because the team came together finally for it. So
yeah, well, hopefully they continue to give more information a little earlier than, hey, guess what? We're gonna have a series of tournaments in now.
Like I said, planning stuff has begun. There will be some adjustments to things, obviously lessons learned, improvements to tables. Expand is 40K. It's probably going to grow. I know Sigmar, we're probably going to stay with what we have and improve upon what we have as far as amount of players. Unless we have if we have a sudden huge sellout, then I might be painting a lot more terrain real soon. But we'll see.
Is there any talk of different locations, since those are all very heavily clumped in the south?
There's talks. I have no idea. I mean, that's all Mike Brandt's handling all that, and his team, like for the full-time team. Like I'm just part-time, so I don't have to be involved in that level of stuff. If I was, I'd need to be paid more than what I'm being paid and be full-time. But yeah, there's talks for different sites, different venues. I think Austin was one that they'd look to repeat at. Maybe if it's not next year, within a year after. Like I said, it's
I mean, it's the middle of the continent or middle of the country, so at least makes sense.
Yeah, and it's such a great city. Like, I mean, that's the thing too. When you look at this, like, we're not gonna. Even though I asked outright, and that was looked at with, oh well, maybe no, it's because you live there. Because I suggested Pittsburgh. I was like, we should have one in Pittsburgh, and they were like, no, it's just because you live there. What happens in Pittsburgh? I'm like, sports happens.
But Chuck, you couldn't sell them on the metropolis that is Ligonier.
Oh boy!
I mean, we got the international airport right there. We have the Lawrence L.
Three Rivers,
yeah.
The convention center right in the heart of downtown.
Lawrence. Yeah, David L. Lawrence.
There's it.
Yep. Hey, no, we just, like I said, we'll see. I feel they will switch things up. I have no idea what the venues would be. I've heard some names thrown out, but I will not repeat them because I don't want to give out any false information or get anyone's hopes up, because that's all probably still
break any NDAs.
One of them was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, one of them was Pittsburgh. That was put down real quick. So sorry, everybody. I tried.
Yeah. So finals.
So yeah. So this was exciting to have less than a week, turn around and go back down to Dallas for the finals. If I had any complaint in the scheduling, it was zero time to do get set and go back down for the finals. But we did it. It was a kind of a neat concept. We were playing in the Warhammer Citadel in the back room. We had a stream table for Age of Sigmar fully. We gave updates as we could throughout the day. Unfortunately, James O'Brien wasn't able to be there with us, which I wish he would have, because we had that whole AOS team set. So it was me and John handling Age of Sigmar. Not that anything was needed at all. Literally, these are top players in the country.
Right.
So what like if there was a rules question, the rules question was going to be something on, this is worded very poorly, how are we playing it for this event?
Yeah.
And you just go, you're playing it this way, and they go, oh, okay. But even that didn't come up because everyone, I think it's just the list everyone brought. So there was kind of like a dual format here. There was the best overalls would play the best overalls, and best generals would play best generals in a knockout style. Even if you lost, you still got to keep playing, but like it was win-loss essentially. Like, and I was kind of a smart ass. Someone asked me, said, "Hey, why wasn't this put on BCP?" And my response was immediately, because they messaged me right as I was cleaning up from the event after like all this fun. Like, hey, well, I didn't see. Why isn't this stuff put up on BCP? And I said, because I can count to 2. Like, come on. It's like, no, I was like, here's a list. They put it out this way and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, and then so you came in, and so obviously that's going to be just 2 games, but we have 2 days, so 4 games. So we also had exhibition matches. There's a lot of lessons learned on the exhibition matches. The goal was to try and pair the lists and rewrite the lists using people's collections of the army they're bringing to make something less powerful, but maybe show off the generalship more. In all honesty, I think we didn't nail that mark. And some of it was because, we only had so much time to turn it around. Some of it was, hey, this idea wasn't really being revealed till the last moment, so we didn't. Anyway, I don't want to throw blame on anybody other than I'll take the blame. Sure, whatever.
It's just growing pains.
Yeah, it's like
it's all comes part of running your first event. I mean, it's no matter how much you have run events in the past, whenever you run a brand new event, you're always going to have something like that.
Well,
that's no one's fault.
I like the concept of what it was. I just think we just couldn't execute it properly with the time we had. Unless, like I said, maybe if it's a full-time job, but that's not the case. But regardless, everyone came, had good attitudes and played it, exactly as it is, had fun, and realized that. And that was the one thing I kept enforcing to all the players down there. Like, guys, there's no award for this. Like, sure, your name gets put on, like the names that go onto the big plaques for this that hold the awesome heavy hammers you can check out on my Twitter and Instagram. Like, everyone's name gets engraved and says what they won in the year they won it. So if you won your bracket for the finals, you're on a gold plate instead of a black plate. That was the award. So really, I was telling everybody, like, there's no real award. The award is you're here. You got flown down to play Warhammer.
What are you talking about?
Well,
your award is immortality.
Okay, Mike Brand. So, like, yeah, but the award was truly being able to be flown down, put up in a hotel, given food, to play Warhammer for a couple days. Like that, like, you guys had already won your award. So, like, and I meant that because I didn't want anyone to come in to be like a tryhard. Like
for the finals?
For the finals.
Or for the exhibition?
For the finals. Or for either. I just want everyone...
try hard for the finals. Like, that's when you try hard.
Well, you got to think, these people are bringing the best lists, or the best players, like,
Now, let me ask. So, did people have to bring the list that they brought, or the army they... Like, was there any army requirement? Okay.
Nope.
So,
yeah,
like, if...
They bring something new.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Did anybody bring something new?
Caleb, Thomas, they brought the same. Gavin brought the same. So Justin, Evan. Well, Evan Miller. He attended all 3 events. He was the wild card for best general. Maybe best overall. I forget which one he was part of. I apologize, Evan. He was one of the wild cards. He actually brought a different army for each event. I think.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, he's got a nice collection. I imagine. I think maybe what he brought to Austin is what he brought to the finals, as well. But he didn't place anything in Austin, so it's effectively a new list. And then Bill Souza, I know he brought a new list as well. He brought Fire Slayers instead of his Slanesh.
He never brings the same list twice.
Yeah, he does. Nope. He enjoys mixing it up.
Soon he's gonna have to do Beast of Chaos soon.
He is. Well, it's really funny because you look at his list and he brought 2 of the new Stormcast dragons. That, granted, they weren't fully out yet, but he did nice exceptional conversions using Forge World models and some Fire Slayers that I approved, and I really liked it. And if anyone's asking, like, why did you approve a model that wasn't out? It's like, okay, well, the rules are out, and 2, I looked at his conversions. He showed them to me, before he sent me his mock-up, and I looked at it and said, if the official models were out and it wasn't delayed because of weird shipping stuff, I'd be like, yeah, those are perfect, because there's a lot of passion and good conversion work into it. Mm-hmm. So it was real. Like, I mean, he did take the win in his bracket, but it was really funny because everyone's going, those dragons are gonna be like brutal. And in the first game, they got shut off real quickly. In the second game, he didn't need them. He even said like, I wish I brought Magma Dross. They might have done more. To full fairness to him, he said he was a little too aggressive with them in the first game, and second game, it's like just the matchup. He didn't need it, unfortunately, with the way it worked out. But it was impressive watching the Fire Slayers not die. I watched a unit of 10 Fire Slayers take the Marathi bow shots from 10 snakes twice, and they're just like, most of us are still here. And I'm like, holy crap.
Wow, that's ridiculous. I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know. He's just insane. He's just insane. Like
he's skilled.
I was watching Warhammer Weekly this week, where the Vincent and everyone was talking about points, and he actually brought up one of his examples was like, Bill Souza could probably bring an 1,800 point list to a game with one of us and still win.
Bill Souza could walk up to the table with a cigar, a beer, and some potato salad, and I would lose the game.
Yeah. Here's 40 long swords. We'll just go with it. For great swords.
He literally just puts real long swords on the table. You're like, well, Bill, I can't claim the objectives. You got too many long swords. I guess you win.
I think we need to get Bill to work on his sleight of hand. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so that he can palm something that when he shakes your hand at the end of the game, you open your hand and you've got this card in your hand that says, you got Souza.
No, so there is a shirt. Bill Souza has the link to it. Only Bill Souza is allowed to give this link out. And he did give it out to a few people. I don't know if they bought the shirts, but it's a shirt with his face that says, you Suze, you lose, that they're able to purchase off the Strength Hammer apparel site, which you can find links in the description below. You won't find that shirt unless double turn me daddy. Or you can buy the other version that I made.
I mean, if you want to buy the worst version, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But my shirt is not sold there. Just in case that was somehow unclear.
Yep. Neither is mine. Some CrossFit thing. Although I can make something.
The only one here that understands branding. Jesus Christ, guys.
I got my logo on the screen. You can't see it, but it's there.
Who is Brandon?
Let's go, buddy. Let's go. There we go. Hey, and then we're in a political podcast. Let's get going here.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
It's hard, it's the only thing I can think of now I'm not going into anything political here, but at a group I play with every week, one of them's named Brandon, and every time I hear his name, it's just like, don't say it. It's gonna be the new Karen, just watch out. Anyway, the final went really well. Congrats to Caleb Walters for winning best overall bracket, and Bill Souza winning best general bracket, and to everybody that made it either as a wild card or by placing in your event. Everyone came, put on a good attitude, lots of fun afterwards. Thank you for the Warhammer Citadel, because we kind of invaded their space to host this event. I know and you think oh, we're all Warhammer players. No, listen, if you've ever ran a retail store, now imagine you have a nice big retail store and half of your product right before Christmas has to be taken and put away because some numbskulls are running an event in your back room, and those 8-10, well, there's 20 of us total, with support staff and all that, are not going to make up for those lost sales. And boy golly, was that a high walk-in volume store. But yeah, thank you to the retail team down there, because we invaded your space and you graciously gave it to us. You still made us coffee. It was delicious.
How is their food?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to have any of the food, but that's because
I was just saying, unfortunately, it's terrible.
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to have any because, thankfully, as event staff, and then we were also feeding the players. We were bringing food in, so that way I had whatever was brought to me by that, which I had a nice little choice, and a lot of it was barbecue and meat, which was fantastic. But so I didn't get to actually try
one does in Texas.
But I did have a couple coffees, which were great. I had this wonderful pumpkin spice latte. I sat down next to the picture of Marathi at one of the tables, just drinking my PSL next to Marathi. Felt good.
Was it their coffee or someone else?
No, it was theirs. Yeah, they have.
So you heard it here first, folks. The They have the pumpkin spice latte straight from Garan. That's
Actually, it was really neat. They did a lot of theme drinks, like off the Chaos Gods. And I don't know why anyone would ever dare tempt the Nurgle one. I'm sure it was delicious. I'm sure it was just lime or something.
I
But
don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily want the Slanesh one either. That's
the Slanesh one was just passion fruit. You're like, okay, I get that. Corn one was like cherry or strawberry or something, and Zinch was like
Slanesh bodily fluid lattes. That's
but you see the Nurgle and you're just like, I don't want curdled milk. I know that's not what you're using, but that's what I think.
I bet the Siege drink tastes different every time you try it.
oh man.
There was room for them to improve upon things like that, but
Nurgle poutine. There you go.
Ooh.
Well, and I bet they left half the food on Sprue.
Ooh. No, they.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Should have got a got right bagel. Get a got right bagel.
But yeah. So actually, I guess this will tie in briefly. The reason I now am doing Iron Jaws for Path to Glory, though. So I had some Iron Jaws. I had an old Orc war boss and some Orc boys. Now it's the Ard boys now, and it was the special collector's edition of the Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning Orc war boss, Grumlock and Gazbag. So like I used them for Necromunda, or not Necromunda, sorry, Mordheim. I used them for Warhammer or Age of Sigmar Skirmish when it came out. I haven't really never done anything past that. But we realized we accidentally put it at a third War Chanter in one of the players' lists. And he messaged us immediately and said, hey, like, I only have 2. Do you need me to go get one? And like, no, we're not going to make someone go buy something. A player, like, we invited you to this event, but go buy a model. Like, no, that's not what we're doing.
I mean, to be fair, it is their responsibility to bring a list.
Well, no, he gave us a list. We accidentally put something in it based upon what he gave us information.
Okay.
We added an extra one in. That was on us. But I said I got time. I can go up to my local game store, Toy Soldier Gallery. Shout out to Norm, and I'll pick up a War Chanter. I'll paint it up. Not a big problem. It's fine. It is what it is. I was like, hey, sure, I can paint a model in like 2 days anyway. Like, obviously, I'm pretty quick at it, so it wasn't a big deal. I go up there. The only way I could get the War Chanter. This is after we've committed and told the player we'd take care of it. The only way I could get the War Chanters and start collecting. So, paint up the War Chanter is all good. Painted up the piggies not too long ago, and then obviously Path to Glory. Here we're at. I actually gave away the 10 extra Ard boys I had. I actually gave those to a friend who's going through a bit of a rough time, but he's starting orcs for 40k, and I said, here, you can take these, put some guns on them or not. It doesn't matter. They're orcs. It's fine. So. or you can start the fantasy one, whatever. But they found a good home because they're technically, even though you buy them in 10s, they're units of 5. Anyway, like I don't need more than 10. They're not great. They're not good.
Yeah, the Ard boys are not. They're not really that fun to run.
Yeah, they're just there, and I don't even have the shield in them because I just built them like really long time ago. So yeah, I don't even have a good setup for them.
Yeah, I built mine a really long time ago, and when you had no limit on shields, so I think I have too much shields, so I would have to buy like more Ard boys just to run the Ard boys I have.
or just pop off the shields, give me a few, and
should we just call them soft boys then?
Yeah.
Soft lads.
Are they 4 up to 3 up at this point?
I don't even know. You think
I
okay?
think they're 4 up.
I just put the points in and said there's a list, and I'm painting it. It's Path to Glory. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a great time. Shout out to all the players who came and had a good time. I want to give a special thanks to Mike Brandt and the rest of the GW team, both 40K and Sigmar. I got to know and meet a lot of fantastic individuals, some who I've heard on podcasts in 40K, some whose names I've heard thrown around in 40K, as well as obviously, meeting John, and then like I said, then the whole GW staff. It was just, we definitely formed a brotherhood. It was exciting. It was fun. I can't wait to see them again. Like I said, that was probably the best part. Like it's tough doing Austin, coming back for less than a week and going and doing the final. But I was excited to see them. Like, we really formed a nice, strong group. I was invited to go join them at PAX. Unfortunately, I was unable to, which would have been literally 3 days later at that point. But yeah,
PAX sounded rough. PAX sounded real rough.
Well, they were doing the Kill Team Live, which it is laser tag using 40K
I heard that.
themed
That's really
weapons.
fun.
I
think I saw that at Adepticon.
It's going to be at Adepticon. It's going to be at Nova.
Oh, cool.
I imagine it'll probably be at LVO as well. So I don't know, but yeah, it looked exceptional. It's a really fun way to just have some fun. I don't know about PAX as a whole, but
so now we need to get some AOS LARPing.
There we go. Get some foam swords. We can get it done. But yeah, like shout outs to every single one of them. They all know who they are. Like the stream team, the rules judges. I mean, I've put up posts on Facebook and everything. Like
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see them again at the next event I can make it to, which hopefully is Adepticon. I don't think LVO's in the cards for me just because of the job switch. Probably not going to ask for more time off because I technically had to ask off for a few days for the finale during my first week. Like I accepted the position and said, by the way, I need 2 days off in the first week or so I'm working here. And they were like, yeah, cool, it's fine, whatever. But to then go
never again.
No, it's I definitely want to get a routine down with that and put forth my effort there before I worry technically about my side job. But probably Adepticon. If I don't play, maybe I'll be helping them out. We'll see. But yeah, two great events. Fantastic end to the U.S. Open season. From what I have heard about what's going to happen next year, that is a little bit more concrete. Obviously, I can't say it, but I'm excited for it, and so should all of you. I hope there's one in a city that you are able to attend. You will not be disappointed, especially because, like I said, I've already talked about the lessons we've learned from running the event as a whole to running the Age of Sigmar specifically. So it's going to just keep getting better and better. And everyone's like, oh, everyone says that. Like, because events always get better and better, but it's going to get better and better with the financial backing of Games Workshop fully invested.
Yeah.
So, that
So
helps.
let me
Resources
ask.
help.
Let me
What are
ask.
the
So let's say you're deemed Emperor Chuck of the AOS GT Opens.
Final.
Final. What either changes, additions, or improvement? Like, just choose one change, addition, or improvement that you would like to see to the Opens.
I want to redo every single table we have for terrain.
Okay. So
Happy Dad moment going on, part 2 in the YouTube.
hey, you guys are dressed alike.
Oh. Just like I have Sigmar on the screen. He's got a sand hat on too. So.
Okay. So I can't remember. I know I asked last time. The terrain was all GW terrain, right?
Yes, we are fully GW terrain. The 40K side, I guess. Let me talk about that first. All new painted terrain. They had square acrylic cutouts to mark area terrain, since terrain made by GW doesn't really have a footprint, even though we need those for rules. The Sigmar stuff, we had Citadel trees, we had the temples, the new Storm Vault kind of bases, and then we actually had some old fantasy, like watchtowers. Like, it was all painted, it was all good stuff, but it was all a mixed match that we made work into 4 distinct, especially by Austin. I'm saying this, by Austin. We had it working in 4 distinct setups in four different tables. Each table match, because we had 4 different table mats. We had a swamp, we had an alpine, we had plains, and we had a mountain.
Did you smuggle me one of the mansions?
No, because I had to bring so much other crap for home for everybody, like Helga's, and then I bought some Drukhari stuff.
Listen, Helga Mansion. All right. Oh, actually, because Helga Mansion for Big M.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, so and listen, to the 40K side, they had 4 table mats, 4 distinct themed tables, but the terrain setup was the exact same on every single table, with the way they had the acrylics and the pieces cut out. Because there was an Admech table, an Orc table, a Nurgle table, and just a general Imperium table.
But like the layout was the same kind of footprint for each.
Right. Whereas with Sigmar, with
I don't
what we
know how I
had,
feel about it.
Well, if you're going like, we want these to be the best top level events for competitive play, especially on 40K.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Sigmar, we do want that, and my wish to change all the tables, it's very likely will happen. It's not just my wish alone either.
Now, would you want them to all be, like you're saying, how like there's different environmental ones, but would you still like to see the Gur theme, and then basically like, whenever they decide to switch us out, get all new terrain, or would you prefer to just keep it neutral?
No, it'll be neutral. Like I said, there's the 4 mats we have: a swamp, alpine, mountain, plains, and I think within that we can have the same thing like 40K has, where you have every table's going to be exactly the same. We will have to create some acrylics. We actually did have some acrylics that were the same footprint as the old Citadel would. But like obviously we're not going to do square shapes because we're not fighting in cities. We'll do natural looking shapes. But
you should have one table, like the bottom table or the top table should have just been all Citadel woods.
Oh God. That'd be a nightmare.
All with the leaves.
Set up Tetris style.
Yeah. Listen, storing those trees was a nightmare.
Butts to nuts of trees.
But yeah, so every table be the same setup as far as where the terrain's positioned. Even have it like so it's consistent for everybody. But since we have 4 different table mats, have 4 different paint jobs and 4 different style of setups, even though it's the exact same things. Yeah. For instance, if you have a swamp table, you can have 4 trees. But if you use the acrylic base that matches those trees that we had on the desert table, you could put up scatter terrain. They effectively are the same things. We're using mysterious terrain. We're not using any terrain rules. So they'll look like we have 4 visually distinct tables, but they'll effectively be the exact same. That's what I want, and
even GW doesn't use their own terrain rules. Is that what I'm hearing?
What do you mean? Oh no, we use mysterious terrain as per the General's Handbook pack.
So you roll for it and say this thing in the top left corner of every table is a number 2.
You know, it is really interesting. Obviously, it's in the pack says we use it. Obviously, just like any other event anywhere. If the players aren't using it, they're not using it.
Right.
That's
right.
like you can't afford 64 tables worth of players to use it.
How is that attitude?
Because like I don't have anything wrong with the terrain features. I really don't. No matter how hard I try, though, I cannot remember.
I've done games where both players have forgotten to use it, and it's like, okay, whatever. And I've done games where, we use it. We either have the dice or we write it down on a piece of paper.
Doesn't even fucking matter, man. I even have the special ones that I forget who makes them. I know, Chuck, you have them as well.
Yeah, Bad Dice.
Yeah, that actually have like the inspirational and the deadly and the arcane, and I'll put that on there, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna cast a spell, and then like 2 turns later, shit, I forgot the plus one.
It's calm. It's because we don't use it regularly enough. Yeah, if we used it regularly enough, we could get used to it, Matt. It's just repetition. Yeah. And it's very odd. If you go to the UK and I think even Australia, they don't ever think about not using it. Or in the US, very rarely used, honestly, from what I've seen. But that's a cultural thing. I mean, we're going to put it in there because that's part of the rules packet. But if people don't use it, I'm not asking every table. Yeah. Garrisoning is also in the rules. No one's ever done that. I've done it with my KO. I didn't understand what I was doing. That's fine.
You only used it because you didn't understand what you were doing.
I remember my very first game. I was at a club day. Like I just built and primed the army. I took it to a club day, put it down on the table. I was like, these guys are starting in the boat, and then immediately messaging like the group like, can I move after I get out of garrison?
Yeah. I remember you texting me.
I read like half the war scroll of the boat, and you guys are like, no, this section says you can't. Thanks. It's like I've not had a reason to look at that army for years, as far as like what the rules are, because no one plays it around here anyway. Matt.
And if you played Neil's army, you'd just win.
Yeah, he just plays boats, so he doesn't care about.
By the end of 2023. Grogny's Reclaimers are going to be tied in to KO.
That's what I'm banking on, Matt.
So I'm telling you, man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the last every Big M's Power Hour that's come out in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, to put a little bow on this little present here, you see what I did there? Christmas.
We didn't talk about the
I
Battle
get it.
Scroll.
Well, no. I'm putting a bow on the open.
Yeah.
Great end of the
Yeah.
year. Can't wait to see
So we're
everyone
closing
next year.
the open.
We're closing the open. The open is now closed. I'm gonna hide this little image, and hopefully this works here.
And then on Christmas
Hey-o.
morning, you're going to open the closed open.
Yes, but now
So then
we
there'll
have
be the double open.
right now we have the
Doubles. When are we getting to open doubles?
can't say. But
When are we going to get a doubles open with Unchained Colossus as the final?
hey, listen, if it ever pops up,
64 Purple Suns.
if it ever pops up and we need someone to run that for the GW Open, I'm gonna push to get you in there so hard, just so you can be like, I need all the Purple Suns you have right now.
Need 64 Purple Suns. Stat.
The next thing is you wake up, you're like, you have them. You're like, oh no.
Shit, they called my bluff.
Now I have to build them. Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway, so now on the screen we have up, and if you're just listening at home, the Battle Scroll, Gods and Heroes, December 2021, the winter update and FAQ, all kind of roll in this nice little package.
Probably pull that up.
I mean, yeah. You think I'm gonna read all these words? No.
Yes.
So I've watched people go Battle Scroll. That's a dumb name. Who the fuck cares? Get over your fucking self. All right. That's where I'm at. Like old school.
Gotta call it something.
Yeah, gotta call it something. It's not gonna be called Nutsack Update 2.0 because
Because that was already trademarked.
Yeah, they call it the. Why don't you
Probably.
just shut the hell up and play your damn game?
just shut up, you entitled bastards. Here's your update. You're not gonna like it anyway because you never like anything. Yeah, Truth Scroll, December 2021. That's what it'd be called. It's just a middle finger of like, you don't like it anyway. Shut up. You're not playing games. Sorry. Overall,
Tell us how you really feel.
overall, from the feedback I've been given, because people decide to message me about it, love the rules updates, confused about the points changes. And I have to say, they're not entirely off the mark with their choice of words. I do like the rules updates we have here. I mean, the heroic action, heroic recovery change. I like now that heroes have to be outside 3 inches.
Yeah.
And if the roll is less than or equal to the hero's bravery, you heal D3. So no more, you only heal 1 if you tie. Like,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah. just roll it or under. You're good to go. You only have to remember one number.
I've rolled my D3s, and I know it's heal 1 anyway.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I like the change. I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, what do you think? I mean,
It's exactly what we should have been. This is how it should have come out of the book.
I think it's better in both counts.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, we'll move on from there. The Unleash Hell change. Now it's much less ranged. It's by model, within 6 inches, and enemy unit has to be more than 3 away from any other enemy units. Blah blah blah. All that. Go ahead and read it for yourself, everybody. But what do you think about this? Now, obviously, I think this is going to hurt like Sentinels, Stalkers. The really dangerous shooty units out there that are going to be more common in a lot of lists. Not hurt them. I don't want to say hurt them too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's not ruining them, but it's toning it down a little bit. That with smart play, you can negate a potentially bad Unleash Hell a lot easier now.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of a two-sided thing. I don't necessarily think it was wholly needed. But 2, at the same time, people just have it in their heads that they just shouldn't be shot. And every time they get shot, whenever they weren't expecting it, it's the worst thing in the world.
To be fair,
and so I think it's necessary.
To be fair, Unleash Hell is a new thing. It only really existed for Empire in cities of Sigmar.
And all of 40K.
and all of 40K. But like we've been pretty much immune to it. And to be honest, when I played Alex, who's our Cities of Sigmar local regular, when he was doing it to me, it sucked in 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
It hurt.
Because that was an exploit.
Now, granted, it wasn't like you didn't have a -1 or anything like you do like an Unleash Hell.
Right.
So there was that, and they're freaking on 2s and 2s with them fully buffed up, which is a nightmarish situation. But I say I don't mind it. I think it can make for some smart play. It doesn't hurt or bother me at all.
I'll tell you the one thing that like I look at these and you hear people talk about the save stacking and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind trying to get a couple games in where we tried where each unit can only receive or issue a command ability once per turn.
Oh, so you
period.
Can't.
Wow.
Once per turn.
Because because again, like here's my thing, like okay, so now and also, man, I don't know about the hero, like the sergeant being able to issue.
See,
I
think
get it and I don't get it.
Well, that one hand, that's kind of a throwback to 8th edition, where your unit leader was more important and valuable.
Right.
I like it. I
like it at the same time, though. Like, and again, don't get me wrong, I love it. I use it constantly, every time. Like every phase, I use it at least once. Like, but the
fact that my opponent can do it,
right?
That sucks.
But at the same
problem
time,
with this game, the opponent exists.
That basically means like whatever command point you want spent, you can basically spend it wherever you want it,
unless you're facing someone who is a monster.
Right. But because of that, everyone has 100 of the Hearthland to the high heavens, so you might as well take the monster phase back out.
True, but I mean, don't forget the General's Handbook. That's General's Handbook 1, so when that changes, that's possibility that's going to be moved out as well. We'll have to wait and see.
It's very true. Well, again, we'll see, because I know we're going to Shaiish next.
Oh,
so
okay.
And what they're going to have is they're just going to have the shadow phase.
Everyone's -1 to hit and shooting. Go.
Now, Matt, I actually rather believe that what we're going to get in 2022 is 12 General's Handbooks. They're just going to release one every month. But because of shipping issues, they're all going to be dropped on us in November.
Early and late.
All 12 in November.
Oh, boy. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be awesome.
It's very interesting. I kind of think about it. I've been thinking about this one a lot. And it's that old spinning plate thing,
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to keep so many plates up in the air, but you're also now trying to take things off of those plates and put things on the plates while they're spinning and keeping them up. Like it's a hard mess, and
that's
to me this Unleash Hell change is going back to the more of the intent of what Unleash Hell would be in a real battle, as opposed to, hey, you guys, you're going to do all the shooting no matter who charges where.
Yeah, frantic snap shoot, like, hey, we can help our buddies before they get into combat. I mean, I wonder what it would look like if Unleash Hell was like Overwatch in 40k. You just
it was just the unit
sixes.
that gets charged.
No, just 6s to hit.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that'd work as well, because, like you said, in 40k everyone has a gun, so
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to compare it to cross games like that, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, it is, and that's not a bad decision. It's not a bad idea.
But I think if you're doing 6s to hit, then you have to say they don't generate whatever bonuses you get for 6s to hit.
Well, at that point, then Unleash Hell's never going to be. At that point, I'll save the command point, and Unleash Hell's useless. If I'm honest with you.
That's
right.
Fair.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, not only have you convoluted the simple rule into like 3 paragraphs.
That's what I do.
I do the same thing. So don't. But like then on top of that, you've also taken away the point of taking it, like is in the next thing we're going to talk about.
I am happy though. Before we move on to the next thing, with the Terathi Invitational that happened this past weekend, and me knowing that this rule is changing this Monday, I abused the hell out of Unleash Hell. I was just like, oh, look, what's this? Like the tip of my snake's tail's in there? Well, you're just going to die. every single time I could. It felt good. But yeah, like that was like, obviously that's why you change it. Anyway, Amulet of Destiny. So generic universal artifact. Bear now is a 6-up ward instead of a 5-up ward. What do you guys think? I'll be honest, I'm pretty neutral because I play Daughters of Cain mostly. I already have a 6-up ward, and to be honest, I can't. If it's not in my army book, I usually just don't use it out of laziness. So I was really not looking at the universal ones. I know it's good. I know it's out there in the meta, but to me, I'm very nonplussed about it. It's fine.
I mean, I think it's really. I think it was a bad decision.
Okay.
I don't think changing it was a bad decision. I think changing it to 6+ was the bad decision.
Are you more in line with like what Vince and Tom and Tyler were thinking, where you get a
honestly, that's what I came up with the second I saw this. I was like, why not just, and again, I mean, how many times have I said,
that was
like,
the
even
old,
with Giants alone, like,
that was the
if
old
they
artifact.
just had a save versus Mortal Wounds.
That was the old artifact. Just you had what, the 4-up or 5-up against Mortal Wounds? Just Mortal Wounds?
Yeah.
I don't
was just a 5-up against Mortal Wounds, I'd still love it.
I don't disagree with that. I said I'm nonplussed because I don't use it, but from someone like you guys might have used it more than I have, so I'm curious for your opinions more in mine.
Well, it was the only way
I've only
I
ever used the faction ones.
Okay.
So
see, again, using my only 3.0 armies that I've really played have been Stormcast that have lackluster artifacts, and
except for Mirror Shield.
Suns.
Fucking Mirror Shield.
Yeah.
Love it. Hate playing against it.
So again,
love it,
for
though.
me, my 2 artifacts is Mirror Shield and Arcane Tome.
Okay. Yeah, Arcane Tome's still good.
And so
yeah.
like for my sons, I took the sandal from the book, and then I also took, like everybody else that runs sons, I also took the amulet.
Okay.
Now again, for me, it really just kept that gate wrecker on, or gate crasher on, for like one more turn. That's all it ever did.
now, to me, the fact that there is a standard artifact that literally everyone is looking to take means that standard artifact should not have existed in the first place.
That's true.
That's the way I personally look at this. And if they're making it
so
now
obvious,
maybe I'll take this, but probably not, then that to me is mission accomplished.
See, here's the problem though. Like, I think the problem runs a little deeper. And again, this is actually something that you and I have discussed off. I don't think we've discussed it on any podcast, where I think what the real issue boils down to is the game is so overrun with Mortal Wounds at this point that everyone goes, if my hero doesn't have something about that, they're going to get wiped off the table.
Actually,
it's not viable.
So that kind of sparks,
which is the stupidest thing.
That's sparking a kind of this is back to the end of the Dallas finals. A conversation I had with Bill Souza as we were waiting for our airplane getting breakfast. He brought up, it was an excellent.
Why was your airplane getting breakfast?
We were getting breakfast, waiting for our airplane.
Okay, I get it.
But yeah, because if you watch the final game for Sigmar, and actually if you watch most of the last games of Sigmar, like they were over pretty quickly. And of course, someone's like, "Oh, the double turn," and it's like, no, I still like the double turn, but you know, the highest level competitiveness, it's might eventually starting to show that there is a problem with it. But the problem isn't the double turn itself. And this is Bill Souza telling me, and like, you know, I love the way he eloquently said it. I wish he was here to repeat it again, so I'll try not to butcher it. But the problem isn't the double turn. The problem is that the damage cap within our game is ever increasing, it seems like.
Yeah.
So therefore, the double turn is more impactful than it used to be.
Right.
Now, granted, like, you know, playing a casual game in the garage or like a event where no one's bringing anything hard, double turn is fun and it's where it should be. But when you get to like the top table type players with their finely tuned lists where, you know, they're maxing out as much as they can, you know, it could just be down to first and second priority roll and the game's over, which that's what happened with Bill and Justin's game. But it was a
Right.
very interesting thing to consider, and it's definitely something I'm taking like with me into like thoughts on playtesting too. I've had a lot of good conversations about not just with Bill, but with others too. That's like, I want to become a better playtester, so I'm gonna listen to other people's things, even though they're not playtesters. It's what you should do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was just sorry. It was just like I wanted to throw it out there because it was such a really interesting chat we had, and I said maybe it's something where I can see if he wants to come on and talk about it more. Yeah. Anyway, 6 up. It's okay. Wait.
No.
Yeah.
Go do something else.
But yeah, you're not okay.
You've been outvoted, Matt. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault, Matt. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, now we move on to the updates to the Grand Alliances we
Was
have
that a
here.
Goodwill Hunting reference? Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, I was. So
Yeah, how about them apples, Matt?
So we have an update on Grand Alliance Order to two of the best gods out there, Alariel and Marathi. So Alariel, essentially now she knows all the lore of Deepwood and as well as her other spells if she's in her army only, which is kind of correcting because with I think in Broken Realms she just had it. She knew all the spells no matter what army she was in, which is like not so good. And then Marathi, love her. She now knows all of this lower shadow within her own army now. And no, she'd not go up in points. And I will debate that with everybody. I am in full belief her points are correct. I will go into the argument at some point if you all want me to, and I'll bring people on to debate me. But
now here's the problem.
I felt she needed to have this.
Actually debate that.
I will.
If you wanted to actually debate that, you would have to take her foot out of your mouth first.
It's a tail.
Oh, you're going for the tail. Oh, geez, man.
Listen.
I was at least giving you the credit of going after the mini round.
Oh boy. No. So yeah, Marathi got a buff. She knows all the spells for you to just teleport and cast Mind Razor anyway. So whatever. No, it is good. There's some good play in it, but still, I felt she should have had that whenever she got her War Scroll changed in Broken Realms. So I'm glad she has it now. So yes, if anyone wants to blame me, feel free to, because I understand I got the foot and tail in my mouth at the same time.
Yes, it is all my fault.
I take full responsibility and blame for that one.
This is another one that I'm of two minds of. I think it's a neat mechanic, but at the same time, it was also kind of, Techless's thing.
I hear Zoe in the background playing for Squeaky Toy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Zoe's the adorable puppy. We're leaving that in. Was he the only one? I thought someone else had it before him too.
No, so he was the one that started, and then everyone decided. All the other elves were like, "Hey, I want to do that too."
Well, I think all the gods should know it. I mean, no, Nagash did it. Nagash, anytime he was put into an army, he knew.
Well, Nagash
still
doesn't count.
Well, no, don't forget, Teclis also has what, 2 freaking lower spells he needs to go through? 3? Yeah,
3.
so he's still the best caster. We're still fine, Matt. You're still good. You're still safe, even though you don't play the army anymore.
Nope.
I
still liked running Teclis. That was like the only thing I liked from Luminef was running Teclis.
He's fun. I like the gods knowing this if they're a casting god. Now, I don't agree. Like, Teclis being able to cast 4 spells, sure. Like, I don't believe Marathi needs to cast more spells than she does. That I think is fine. Like, no, she's a great spellcaster, but she's not Teclis. Let's be clear.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, moving on. Grand Alliance Destruction. Kragnos has a new War Scroll. Kragnos gains a new ability, and he has a ward of 6 up from his shield. So the War Scroll is online. I don't know if we'll review it the whole way, but we'll get there when we get there. Chaos, long and short of it, Archaeon is now just good in... Well, Archaeon, put him in Slaves of Darkness. Soup is gone. No soup for you. That's about it.
There's now no difference between Allied and Coalesce, or Coalition.
Coalition, yep. And I get from a narrative perspective, that might be frustrating, and for people who've played armies like that, I do feel for you. From a rules writing perspective, I've I think it is better because you can.
I mean,
you can prevent some shenanigans. Now that said, I think that needs to be put out across the board. For example, and this credit to Tom Lyons because he brought it up in Warhammer Weekly last night, and this is where I heard it. But Cities of Sigmar does something different.
Yeah. I would not mind if GW wanted to like double down like they did in 3rd edition. How like everyone had a save after the save term. Now it's just ward.
Right.
I would have no problem with them just coming up with rule sets and being like, this is that rule set.
Right, and you could still have things like break it, like in Carriage on Overlord's Barrack Throng break set with the depossess keyword. I think that's fine, and that's neat, and that's unique. And every time I've tried to build a Barrack Throng list, I get frustrated, which is now why I do Barrack Ziflin with just allying and Godrek.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. And then Grand Alliance Death, they did a lot of changes to Nagash.
Yes.
Listen, check out his War Scroll. Like I said, we'll look at some overview high stuff, but we're going to go down to the points real quick. Not to go over anything, because like I said, some points changes on here was kind of like, I don't know if it needed to be changed. Something obviously there is a conservative approach to points changes, which I'm fine and used to, having been through this cycle before. So
it always feels like in the winter they do the nudge, and then in the summer is whenever, if something needs shoved, that's when they shove.
Well, don't forget now with these new battle scrolls, this is going to be more often. I think did they say quarterly? Yeah,
they said quarterly, which is a frigging nightmare.
Good, means I don't need to edit it out, because I was like, did they say quarterly? Did I hear that?
Yeah, it says quarterly. So that means every 3 months you have to change your army.
Yeah, and here's I heard this critique on a couple different podcasts, because the time it takes to get the data, sort it, do any play testing with it, and people are planning for events, this could really screw up a lot of things where someone's coming into an event and within like 3 to 4 weeks their army changes drastically. I feel for that, and I think all that's going to cause, because even before, if you look at all the old events, it was like 3 to 4 weeks or even longer sometimes of like rules cutoffs. Then with Sigmar, with the way things were going, now it's 2 weeks is pretty common average. I think even the GW events, we were a week out even, like, or even maybe even closer, as long as, it was, you could handle it better. I think all that's going to happen, it's not going to be the end of the world. No one's calling it the end of the world because of it, but I think events are going to start saying this is the cutoff for the event as far as points changes and rules. Now, it would be nice if we knew, hey, on the 15th of these months is when we'll see this document. If that document's going to get delayed by a few days, we will let you know. I would love that sort of clarity.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Like, if you're going to do this every 3 months, change everyone's points, you have to be transparent on when these are going to happen.
Right, because what you'll start seeing is events might just start putting their events like on the 15th or close to it, so it's close enough that it's never going to interfere.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that all going to work out. I think it's going to be an adjustment from the community if this, this being a quarterly, depending on how it's going to go. Like I said, this is the first one. So we'll see how it changes and adapts and what the next one's going to look like. And, I guess I should see it soon, huh? If in the playtest side of things, I'll probably have my email in a week or so. Like, oh boy, here we go.
Now, I have another suggestion for this that I hope you didn't already cover while I was using the restroom. I'm looking at this, and I know the models I use in my Ogre army and in the Ideneth army that I'm building. None of the models I have are affected by this. So I'm looking at this and I just see names and numbers. They don't mean anything to me. I would love to see a little up arrow or down arrow indicating, okay, so the Skitter Strand of Ragnarok is now at 180. That has come down or gone up.
Or even just like
just some perspective.
Plus this, minus this,
most
and
things
then
went down.
Yeah. I've people online do that almost immediately when I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
and Facebook.
If only Games Workshop could do that automatically.
That's true. That's a good point. And, I mean, I'll throw that in the feedback whenever the next one pops up. If this is what the points changes look like, there might not be points changes on the next one. Who knows? Like it's like what's the update going to be?
Or they might just they want to hope that it's the less engaged player that goes, all right, whatever, man. I don't remember what it was, but I could do that. And it's a lot less. It's a lot less bad when you're like 170 now, huh? All right, whatever. I don't remember. What do you mean it went up 30 points?
Yeah, anything on here stand out to you guys of interest? I mean, there's things on here that, of interest to us. I mean, there's interesting things on here that, like, I'm not going to talk about the Gardas change. He went down. Cool, okay. I don't play Gardas. I'll talk about the Avatar going down, but...
none of it really impacts me, as the team former Lumineth player. I do have to say, like, I wouldn't have minded Sentinels going up a little bit more if they would have brought Wardens down a little bit more, because their base War Scroll, it's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, there's the delicate balance. Like, are you trying to kill a specific list compared to, like, killing Sentinel spam was the goal for sure. But then you go like, okay, well, how badly is it's a weird balance. Like you said, spinning plates and all that.
Yeah, like I said, like, again, I haven't done the actual math yet because I don't really care that much to do it. But with Lumineth, I mean, you basically, everyone's go-to, unless you're doing the Wind Temple, is going to be Wardens and Sentinels.
Right.
And so it's like, who basically comes down to who's getting the reinforcement. If you make the Wardens cheap enough, you'll see more Wardens on the table and less Sentinels on the table, which then has a better feeling game.
Right, which, you play with those points and maybe drop down like a hero or two, and you keep the list the same for like the common list, like of like what I have, where I have 20 of each and techless and stuff like that. Sure.
Right.
And like, yeah, that's all in consideration. But yeah, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, other than that, I know a lot of people said Gottrekker is fine. I kind of wouldn't have minded him going up maybe another 10.
Nah, I think he's fine at 485.
I know you think that because he's in one of your lists.
He is now. It's interesting too, because like you look at it, like he's definitely like he's a bully, but like where's he a bully at? Like no one at the finals brought him. In Austin, there was only one player that had him.
He's always a bully at my table.
Listen. I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you kind of have to use your measuring stick based on the competitive scene, but like at the same time, you kind of look at the metrics of the middle tables.
Oh no, you absolutely do. I mean,
yeah,
and also consider that most players out there aren't tournament players, but also these points are only going to be based upon the feedback from tournament events.
Yeah.
So like, that's what you're going to be affecting, but also, that those people that play at home that go to tournaments will look at tournaments still with podcasts and stuff. So it's all very interconnected. And like I said, if we were going to do a 3-4 hour podcast like Warhammer Weekly does, or even like a more nuanced talk like Honest Wargamer or something, like sure, we could go into that. We're not going to do that here. But like I said, that the interplay is really neat. Actually, I'd be more interested to talk about the interplay of tournament results, how that affects the non-tournament players, and how it all kind of feeds back. I'd be interested in like a topic like that for a show, for sure.
Hint, Matt, since you're the next host.
Now, we'll see how that goes. But like, I'm more interested in that than like going on the nuance of like Avatar Archaeon down. Sure, that's fun. I've run them on foot on occasion, more for fun.
Because it always works so well for you.
Hey, I beat Neil.
Well, that's not.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be proud of this.
That's like playing single-person chess, going, "Hey, I won."
I'm always pleased when a Slaughter Queen points go down. Bloodstalker's going up made sense. Yeah.
Hags are now free. How'd that happen?
If Hags are ever free, then you know that I have succeeded as infiltration of Games Workshop.
Hags are now just the sergeants of witch elves. What?
Yeah. But I said, there's points changes. Go check it out. Yeah. Or just actually
Yeah.
open up as of today, the app is updated fully, as is War Scroll Builder.
Oh,
So
cool.
I opened up my app, all the point changes have been there. I was real happy to see how quick that was. Oh, another neat thing. Sorry, back to the finale. I met the person that they hired, who is a full tech focused person that they hired
Nerd.
to fix the apps, 40K and Sigmar.
Hmm.
He said it might
Was
take.
he like?
Well, I mean, he's a fan of the game, but like he was telling me his credentials, and he's legit probably one of the most perfect people for this job. He said
Awesome.
it's gonna take a year or so because he's got lots of rules, like a lot to do. And he's not the only one on it, but he's kind of the one on it. But I'm just excited there's someone for that. So the apps getting updated to be fully functional in a better way I can't wait. So
Yeah. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a moment of like so these are all them Warhammers, huh?
no, he was definitely more of a 40K person, but also he was asking me lots of stuff like, hey, where can I learn more about Sigmar outside of just reading the rules? What shows and like what should I be looking
We
at?
heard about that ninth age
And you
game.
told him to listen to Strength Hammer because we'll ruin his impression of the game entirely.
Exactly. Make avatars free. Anyway, yeah. So scrolling down, so we got the.
Oh man, you could argue that avatars should be your terrain feature.
Ooh.
I do not. Okay. We're gonna bring it real close here. The one thing I don't like about Age of Sigmar, I do not like army terrain outside of Sylvaneth Woods, which I only ever have one because I don't feel like carrying that much crap. I don't like army terrain. I like endless spells and judgments and invocations, whatever you call them. I don't like army terrain.
I like it.
I am so thankful Daughters of Cain don't have one yet. So you need to shut your mouth, Matt, all right?
Avatars. So you heard that. Temple of Cain. Just put that.
Here's the thing.
Choose one quadrant.
If it came
build your
out, I'm
temple.
buying 2 or 3, but still, I doesn't mean I have to like it. All right, Craggy. Yeah, so we got a War Scroll change. What the charge does, like 3d6 wounds or something. I don't know, something big. It does big stuff.
Well, so the
What was it? I'm losing it on it actually.
so the biggest change. Let's see here. Where was it? Where'd it go? Other than the D6 here. It's the end of Empire. So if a friendly destruction unit is wholly within 12 inches of this unit, you can attempt to charge with that unit if it's within 18 of an enemy unit instead of 12.
Roll
In addition, when making a charge roll with a friendly destruction unit wholly within 12 of this unit, roll 3d6 instead of 2d6.
Right, and having a up and coming Iron Jaws army, I'd be tempted to throw him in.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
And
like I said,
now I know why
Dave.
Matt suggested it for my Beast Claw army. Because I had no idea what the rule was.
Yeah, because isn't there like you do a number of mortal wounds based on what you rolled for your charge?
Mm-hmm.
My unmodified roll, which
Your
means
unmodified, your 18 that's coming out. Yeah, at that point, you just stop doing combat and you just charge, retreat, charge, retreat.
Yep.
no, there is no retreat because I'm not in combat anymore. I
Well,
charged.
You don't need to charge because you're going to kill whatever you touch.
Yeah. You're just like a soccer mom trying to parallel park.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
like, that's,
Oh my gosh. It's the best army idea I've ever had. Beast
The
Claw
soccer
Raiders,
moms?
except for all of the ogres are modded to look like Karens.
Do it. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get Sean involved. He'll probably help sculpt all the hair. I know he would. He would love
He's
that
got
idea.
to sculpt all the bras. That's
No, they're free. Just have one that has a sign that says "Free the Nips" or whatever. I don't know, whatever.
But you really have to put them. You have to build around the Stonehorns and Thunder Tusks so they look like minivans.
Can you imagine the live, laugh, love tattoos you have to put down the
That'd be pretty good. Actually, no, like the terrain. It's the terrain, or not terrain. The display needs to just be a minivan. Kragnos driving. But yeah, that's a spicy rule. I like it. I might get him for Iron Gels for some fun as the Path of Glory goes on. We'll see how that army turns out.
Yeah, Chuck was on the path, but now he found the glory.
Well, my first Path of Glory is Makeo with Gotrek, so I feel like this is full circle if I put another God character back in. Godish.
So what's your third choice army going to be for Path to Glory?
What's Cities of Sigma?
We'll probably go with probably gonna go with Night Haunt. Maybe add in the Gash. We'll see.
No, Soul Blight with the Gash. It's not the best, but yeah.
No, he's going to do Gloomspite Gits with Kragnos.
Yeah. So looking over the since I was looking over the Kragnos previously, because I was annoyed with him and put him in the corner of shame, I might bring him out again. Just give him a shot. See what the new rules are like.
I'd be curious because I've never played him or had anyone play him against me. So like I've never really had the Wrath, and I just know Marathi beat him up and tricked him like a stupid idiot in Broken Realms, and that was enough for me.
Well, so like the problem that I had is the time I played him was against a top shelf Seraphon player, so not Dave.
Yeah, not even close.
So the Bellow Rage happens at the end of any phase. So whenever you're dealt almost 20 wounds of your 18 wounds in just the magic phase, it's not a lot of gas in that tank.
That's true. That's fair.
But yeah, like I said, 18 wounds with no ward save was ludicrous.
Right now he's 2 up, 6 up, so good for him.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to. I'll consider him for my list. Plus, I saw a great conversion for him today on Instagram. Someone took the.
I thought you were gonna say I saw an awesome paint job, and you were gonna be talking about me. But no,
you used contrast.
I didn't use contrast.
I thought you did.
No, mine looks awesome.
Oh, okay.
He used saturation because that's one of the other TV settings.
Ooh. Just got degaussed Kragnos. You're good to go. If you know what that means, take a drink because you're very able to. The nice conversion I saw, it was just a head swap. It was an expensive head swap though.
So it's already better.
Someone swapped his head with that of Magnus the Red from 40K because it's the same scale. But he has like that big flow. It had that like the big flowing mane. He still has the horns, and he did the one of like the normal face with the one eye was taken out when I was in. It looked exceptional.
Sounds weird.
It sounds expensive.
Yeah. What if you did a cross swap? Ooh.
I think the better head swap would be replace his head with a squig.
That's true. Tiny brain. Anyway,
honestly, replace his head with a lump of green stuff. That's the worst part of this model. That face.
Anyway, talking about terrible models. My gosh. Sorry, I just need to make people upset for no reason. No, it's if you like the sculpt, it's great. I am not.
I feel like the clown version was so much better.
What's the one that's on screen right now, Dave? Oh, you meant the old clown version, not the modern clown version. Sorry.
Yeah. The shorter clown.
Yeah,
there was someone at my store that bought like 3 packs of skulls, got the Nagash base, made a giant like pile of skulls, and then just put the old Nagash model on top. Nice.
There you go. So
he's like, it's on the right button.
Nagash also had a few changes. I think one of the biggest is he no longer benefits from allegiance abilities in any army he's in, but he knows their lore spells. So
yeah.
He can be in any death army, and he will help them out, even though they're not helping him out.
Yeah, I definitely think the 2 big changes, like you said, is one, he gets those spells of any armies in.
Yep.
And then it might seem small, but like getting Alakanash up to 4 attacks instead of 1.
That's true.
I don't want to deal with that.
No, that's
Holy
true.
Smokes.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, it's not for the points he costs. I mean, he's half your army. That's not ridiculous. But it's true. That was a nice change. And
the amount that he's going to be able to assist in bringing models back.
Yeah, the D3 back or extra 1 or D3 or heal D. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on top. And so that to me says like which we'll get into Big M's Power Hour more. But
Yeah.
to me, that says like, hey, Nurgle, if you see a Nagash on the other side, just bring a magazine.
You're gonna be your well.
Your disease points ain't doing shit.
Yeah. And over on Warhammer Weekly, I know we keep shouting them out, but they did a really great run through of Nagash and how he affects all of the Death armies. So if you really do like Nagash and run him and want to know like what can he do in my army, go over there and check it out.
Yeah.
Their timestamps.
The answer is plenty.
Yeah, he can do plenty. Except for an OBR, he can do a little bit. He can do it really well. He can do really well in an OBR, just only a little bit.
I definitely have to give credit where credit's due with Tom's list idea of the hex rates surrounding him. So because they have the ability to take wounds.
Yeah.
And so it provided, I mean, there's some debate whether it does or doesn't work. Honestly, from my read, it works. I mean, it's pick the general. Like he's the general. Like that's what it is. It's now they could FAQ it to say no, it doesn't work, which would be fine. But
well, I think they should FAQ it either way, just to make it clear.
Yeah,
because it's
I agree.
You could read it one way or the other if you're kind of reading it at a glance. And
right.
For the people at home who maybe aren't tournament players or watching the stuff that we watch, the clarification is good for them.
Yes, exactly. Well, also those people aren't reading the FAQs.
Probably true.
Also, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyway,
but
watch Warhammer Weekly. You'll get caught up.
He
Dave.
said between Nagash, Lady O,
and
there's
Hex
no
Race.
way you. And the Hex Race, unless you're able to wipe a unit of Hex Race in one turn, which good luck.
Because they just got a 4-up save.
Right.
Just 4 up.
Well, they also have their
death save too. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 up, 6 up.
Is Nighthaunt 6 up? I thought Nighthaunt was 5 up.
Maybe it is. I haven't played Jason, our local Nighthaunt player, in quite a while, unfortunately. So
it's been a while. So yeah. So unless you can manage to take down a whole unit of Nighthaunt or of a Hex Race in one turn, you can't. Like he can between the two of them of Nagash and Lady O, they can just bring the unit back up to full every turn.
And if you want to, just throw in Life Swarm for fun too.
Oh my god! And and because their shrug is on a 2-up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's Nagash. I think it's gonna be very interesting changes. I'm looking forward to seeing what tournament lists rise with his current change. If I'm honest, probably more so than any other gods. I'm curious to see what's gonna rise with him, because like his is gonna be more nuanced, I think, as opposed to Kragnos, which is put him in, go forward, and Archaeon just becoming more Slaves of Darkness focused.
Yeah, I said with Nagash, the only thing I have against Nagash is he invokes a very oppressive play style.
Look at him. That's who he is.
Right. I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. It is what he's supposed to do. But like, it certainly makes it. While the game is still enjoyable from a competitive standpoint, it's not like a. It kind of takes away a little bit of the.
Listen, we just gotta wait for the next narrative campaign where Teclis shows up, and it's like the SpongeBob meme. How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? And he kills him again. It's always got to keep doing it.
It comes back even better.
It's not Dragon Ball. Stop it. Anyway, moving on from Nagash to the last one. Archaeon the Everchosen. A model I've always kind of had, but had to sell because it's kind of low on cash. That I'll probably pick up again eventually because I do have a Slaves of Darkness army. But, yeah. That's... I don't actually remember, was there any major changes to him outside of Soup's dead? I can't recall, honestly.
I'm not a huge... I haven't really... I've only...
No one brings him in my local area, so I don't know him like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I really don't know too much of his changes.
And by the end of Warhammer Weekly, I was zoning out too, so... only have so much attention span.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad to see... Because again, like I said, I mean, I know the competitive Chaos players liked being able to just take from this like 4 or 5 battle tomes into one army.
Well, I mean, Yeah, I mean the biggest suppressor, from my knowledge, was Archaeon and Zinch list with the Fate dice.
Right.
And,
Well,
and I'm obviously
okay.
Khorne too. Like Khorne was, he could push some shit, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I remember that, like, so it. I know a lot of people talked about it. I never saw anyone do it. Which, with the second edition book of Nurgle, was bringing um, bring a max unit of Marauders, and they're technically better than everything you have in your
Yeah,
book.
yeah. Oh, I know. His by my will change. He now can just affect chaos. He can't put it on himself. That's one of the changes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he's still Archaeon. He's still cool. If you have him, great. If you had him in a soup army, I guess you're buying Slaves of Darkness now. But no, it's sure. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. It is nice to see War Scroll changes as part of this. I think
Yeah.
it could be done more instead of just focus on gods. But then again, if you go up to the top here and see, it says Battle Scroll Gods and Heroes. The focus on this was changing gods and heroes, and there's just also points changes. So maybe the next one could be Battle Scroll shit no one takes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so torn about updated. As someone that was trying to play KO whenever they did the Battle Tome change there, or the War Scroll change there, it was a little frustrating. I mean, it was,
Yeah, I mean, to me and
I think a better way to put it is, KO is a good tale of caution when it comes to changes like this.
Right. If you look at Dave and I, even though we have a General's Handbook with us, I don't take artifacts that aren't in my Battle Tome because I'm lazy. I just want to pick up. I'll pick up the General's Handbook to go. What's the scenario again? This, okay, and then I don't touch it for the rest till the next game. So like I think there's probably a lot of people out there like that. I mean, heck, even having all the is it my daughter's cane? Like I keep the FAQ for the army in the book, so I always have it with me in case I need a reference. Daughter's cane one's easy, and I know it by now. But also the one I don't know is the endless spells and invocation that I had to print those out, which just kind of sucks that I have to have these tiny little sheets printed out or use my phone to use those. So
Yeah.
I understand, like, War Scroll changes kind of suck, but if the app's going to update quickly,
Right.
cool.
Exactly.
For the I will complain because I like physical things over digital things, but as long as the app's being updated, okay, I'll just shut up because I'm, like, that's the world we're going to live in now. That's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely last on on the list of issues, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's honestly, I think. Well, never mind. I'll be nice.
Well, you're
Christmas.
so kind. It's Christmas. Yeah, and I think with that we'll wrap up this holiday Christmas episode where we talked about the open events and the winter Battle Scroll FAQ update thingy. So,
Huzzah!
Matt, any closing words? Any Christmas wishes for everybody here?
Get good, scrub. Maybe Santa Claus will bring you some talent, you jerk.
Harsh, but fair. Dave.
Sigmar bless us, everyone.
And I guess I will end with Happy Saturnalia. Take care, everybody. Stay Stormcast strong. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Peace and love.
Et cetera, et cetera.